With the fuse box moved out of the way, which I'll have a link in the description on doing that, now we can get to the master cylinder and brake booster, which I have to replace. Using a 13mm flare wrench to loosen up the brake lines going to the master cylinder. And this is what I'm just and the flare nut wrench I bought on Amazon. Pack of 3 for about 10 bucks. I had the 13mm, which is what I needed. Okay, loosen them up enough, I think. The next thing is, do I have to... I was going to remove the brake booster and the master cylinder together as a unit, but just might be too cumbersome. And there's only 2 bolts holding in the master cylinder, so... As you can see, there's lots of room once you remove the fuse box. There's only 2 bolts holding the booster to the firewall, so once I remove those 2 bolts and the actuator pedal, the brake actual rod that's connected to the brake pedal, once you remove that, the whole thing should come out. So that's what I have to remove. There's a clip. That white thing is like a spongy material. And there are, there's only 2 bolts holding it to the firewall. So I got to remove that clip, and there's a clip right here. It's like a slide on, press on clip. Lift it up, and then you have to slide it out from the bigger hole. So that's the white foam, that's the clip. Just gotta pry it to the side. Get a better picture next time. And then you just use a long screwdriver and pull the rod off the pin. So that is the clip that went into the rod, the booster rod. Connect the arm to the master cylinder, wherever you want to call it. And this was the piece of foam. Got to pry that off. It's more like an anti-rattle foam, so it doesn't bang around. So this, you just have to slide it off. As you can see, the rod will go in there, and you have to slide it off to the bigger side. And it's being held down with this, so you just basically got to lift this part up slightly and push it out this way to get it to the larger hole. Okay, I removed the booster with the master cylinder still attached to it. And it was hard to remove because of this white stuff is actually a sealant and a little sticky that sort of glued onto the firewall. So once you remove the two studs from inside the vehicle, I just used a long piece of metal or piece of wood and hit it from the inside of the car with a hammer to push out these studs. So it would help out removal of to release this from the firewall, that white sort of sealant that's on the back of the brake booster. And as you can see, I kept the master cylinder in it because couldn't remove the bolt because it actually these two bolts, these two bolts go right through and come up to the front where the master cylinder is attached to. So it just kept on spinning, so I figured I'll just take it out altogether. And the reason this booster failed, and I actually put tape on it, it cracked. I was getting a P, what was it? A lean code. If I remember correctly, I'll post it on. I'll just insert it into the video. A P0171. P0171. And there is the crack. The only way I found it was with water. Sprayed water around it. I was spraying it around here. That's why I thought if it was going to leak, it was going to leak around here. But there's the crack right there. I don't know if it comes out on camera. So that's where I was getting the too much air going into the air intake, which was causing me a lean condition because there was more air than fuel. So the computer would always try to add more fuel, but would never compensate enough for this vacuum leak. And my booster was bad. Not the well, the booster's bad. The master cylinder kept on losing fluid. Could never find it. None of the lines were leaking. The calipers weren't leaking. The cylinders weren't leaking. The brake cylinders. What are they called now? Forgot. Well, for the back brakes. I'm having a brain fart moment. Can't get the name of it. So, came to the conclusion it must have been leaking from the back of the master cylinder and into the brake booster. And I already seen it that, I don't know if I can get this on camera, but I have fluid coming out. I don't know if that's coming out on camera, but that's where my brake fluid was leaking into. I haven't removed this yet, the master cylinder from here, because I would have to hold on to that bolt, or is it this bolt, and undo the 10mm nut. And that is booster, master cylinder, removed from the car. The hardest part, I'll just reiterate, was releasing this from the firewall. This white stuff made a really good bond, sort of really stuck to the firewall. So just bang it out from the studs from inside the car and just bang it out to get this off the firewall. I just put these in. I had some of the tubing and just melted the ends. Used these from the brake bleeder master cylinder kit, the master cylinder bleeder kit, and I just used these tubes, melted the ends so they create a seal because still had fluid in here. I did not cut the sending unit. This is just from the one I got from the wrecker that I put in here, just in case if I needed it. And I wanted to see the back of the master cylinder, the seal. And I remember one of the bolts here. Oh, it's not 10. I swore I thought it was 10. It's 13. Son of a gun. Okay, this is actually a 13 mil. I've been saying 10 mils. And to remove the sending unit for the brake fluid level, the clip inside. It's a little recess, but get it out. There we go. There's the clip. Just lift that out. Okay, got a vice grip. 13 millimeter. So I'll hold on this with a vice grip. First. I can just break it loose. I think I broke it loose. Yep. So I think it's slipped on the vice grip. Oh, there we go. So I'm trying to hold the stud on the end. One vice grip. Okay, that's good grip on the end, on the stud. Wow. And continue it this way. Oh. And it comes with bang now. Excellent. Not even sure if the camera's on it. How much did I catch that on camera? I don't know. Is it coming out on camera or is it? Well, you can see it's wet, so I guess the seals in there failed. So it was leaking from in there. So somehow this stud broke off the can't see in there, but looks like it's going through a threaded rod. You can see that. And this one does not move. Looks like a bolt. Can't tell with the gloves. I get my hands dirty. take it off. Let's see if that's a bolt. Yeah, I can feel the faces on it, so it's a bolt. So I think this is threading onto a threaded rod. Bolt on that side. Why would it be on a bolt? I don't know. But this one doesn't move. I cannot. It's too tight. For some reason this broke. There is the cracked, as you can see all along there. There's the inside. It's all full of brake fluid. But why? So I think when this broke, push out your master cylinder, it gets pushed out too, because it was moving out. Every time you push your brakes on, you can actually see the master cylinder move away from the brake booster a lot. That movement probably caused that to crack the metal, which created a vacuum leak, which gave me a P0171 engine code, MIL. And that is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe if you like. I do this with my phone, so however the camera works out, it works out. Sorry about any quality or sound issues or lighting issues. It's just the way it is. Thank you.